Right, so we're trying something new this week. Our first interview. Resin, if you want to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your Earth 2 journey so far and your megacity project.
So my name's Resin, pretty frequent person in the Discord, and my megacity project that I've just started this year is Knights of Malta. It's a pretty small country, lots of limestone there, and the community in general is really, Web3 friendly. So that's what I'm really aiming for. A lot of foot traffic, a lot of that community is going to be really into crypto, Web3, metaverse, all of that sort of stuff. I started in July, so I was a bit late, and Pacey, you were late as well. So, but we're still early. Well, so yeah, no, we've done really well. So that's my story basically.
How did you first discover F2 then? Was it from the adverts on Facebook or?
Yeah, Facebook. I think I got like 3 or 4 before I even joined. I was like, I'll throw in 10 bucks here and there. And I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. But I think Discord really pushed it off for me. That really got me engaged.
Yeah, I agree. I saw it a few times myself before I joined as well. And I do you remember the $1 Million homepage? I thought it was like a new version of that. Are you not aware of it?
No, I have no idea.
It was like a thing in years and years ago. There was a guy that made like a website, and he sold tiles on this landing page that people could use as adverts. And it basically just got filled up with loads of logos and that. When I first heard of Earth 2, I kind of envisioned it as basically a new version of that, where I could display my Earth 1 business to get custom. But then when I started looking into it deeper, it kind of, I fell in love. Yeah. Right. I'll move on though. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent there. So
you're right.
Right. Question 2. What inspired you to create your megacity, and how can people become a part of it?
So the original inspiration was actually from being a member of Dorkslayer. They did a lot of work in the start of Earth 2, where they branched out to the smaller countries. So obviously their home is Gibraltar. It is one of the smallest countries. And Malta was one that they tried to go for, but I believe that it was probably a bit too big for them to take on. And you can see like it's got 306 kilometers overall, whereas Gibraltar is only about 6 squared. So it is bigger. And I just took off from there. They were still buying there and I was buying there, and then I just kind of was like, well, there's not a mega city here, so what's to stop me, and that was shortly after I left the guild that I started doing it, because why not? There was no one else doing it. So
yeah, I heard you mention about foot traffic and stuff as well. Was that country in particular a good one for dual-link locations, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It is a hot spot for tourists. So, what do tourists look like? They've got a lot of money. They've got a lot of spare time. They're just cruising around. That's perfect for AR.
Yeah, traveling around with the smartphones in the hands, taking pictures anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they're going overseas and they're on a holiday, they're probably going to have a smartphone, man.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
Yeah.
Next question. This one's about the recent Cope Studio developments. Have you seen that they removed the Earth 2 logo from the website?
I have.
What's your thinking behind that?
Look, my opinion is that they're trying to keep it hush. They're trying to keep things like very low level. And a lot of people just go, no, we need more users, we need more people, but we don't, because we're not ready
yet.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, we kind of create our own fun, evidently. But some people they're not interested at that level yet. So, it's fair. Cool.
Yeah, I think the next wave of users are going to be the gamers. So until we've got gameplay in place, there's not really much point in doing the advertising. I think a lot of it could be to do with Shane not wanting kind of the next Earth guys and stuff to see what's going on as well, kind of keeping these plans low key so they can't be copied again.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Right, so on to question 4. If you could give just one bit of advice to new Earth 2 players, what would that be?
I would probably say don't sell less than what you paid for. I know some people get a bit itchy, and they're like, oh, not really too sure. They want to buy something else, so they want to sell something quick, and things like that. Just don't sell below what you paid for it, because at the end of the day, profit is profit. If you're going to sell, or just hold in general, hodl.
Yeah, they all do eventually end up going up anyway, don't they? So there's literally
Yeah.
no point in letting it go for more than you've paid. Right.
That's right.
Question 5. Earth 2 has a lot of features coming up over the next few months, from the Essence token launch to the EcoSim adverts, the social media app, and even Drone the game. What in particular gets you most pumped about those features? Which one in particular?
The one that I'm the most pumped about is, and it's funny because I was just talking about this like 5 minutes ago, is upgrading is one of the ones that I'm looking forward to. And that's primarily because there's a lot of cheap things that we've got in T2. Not to mention the fact that the T1 prices are going to move again. That we've all seen that they haven't moved at all because they're frozen, right? And what that effect looks like with, what Essence value holds, all of these different variables just bouncing around. It's going to be insane. Like, I'm excited for it,
I think it's going to be kind of hard getting the balance between the two as well. Like whether you're going to upgrade straight away, or you're going to see where kind of Essence sits as the value, seeing as the upgrade's going to be tied to the cost of Essence and stuff as well. But then as you see, you're going to get the land value starting to increase as more people are upgrading. So if you leave it too long, you might have kind of lost the movers edge there as well.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay more than what you originally would have anyway. So look, it's, if you're keen to do it, I'd just do it, instead of just waiting around and speculating. A lot of guys have obviously, they're like, oh, I wish I had done that sooner, let's not make that same mistake, I guess.
I definitely had a bit of FOMO like that about the tile farms and stuff as well. So I see what you mean.
Yep, that's right.
Right. So next is, how are you doing financially from Earth 2? Are you free riding yet, or have you just kept your money inside? Or
I haven't really focused on it, to be honest. I mean, I set myself a budget, and I'm continuing to build every day, whether it be through ref code or putting my own money in. I'm not really taking any out, here and there I kind of go, oh, you know what, it'd be nice to have this, I'll sell something. Some people flip and pull profits out and all that. I don't really do that, to be honest, because I want to build something in Earth 2. It's like some of these guys that were saying strategies with crypto, they just go, oh, put in like $10 every week of something and you will see that return no matter what the price is. That's kind of how I work.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's especially hard to kind of start taking stuff out when you're trying to build something like a megacity as well, isn't it? You're always like, oh, I should add a bit. I'm smaller than the others. I could do a bit here. I want a bit extra road and stuff. So I get that.
Yeah, you can't really take any out when you're building a megacity, I'll be honest. It looks a bit chonky.
It does. Yeah. Right. Where are we next? Are you active in any other metaverse projects? And if so, can you tell us a little bit about those?
I was doing a little bit of research in Sandbox there for a bit, but that was primarily with the alpha season because they had these giveaways that they were doing with the sand. I don't know if you've ever looked into it, but it's like a lot of the things you can see where Earth 2 is moving is kind of similar, I guess. So you walk around, do all these quests. It's like playing a video game, right? And that was cool, but the alpha season kind of finished, and then I don't think they're really doing much of that. So it's kind of just waiting for the next season. But other than that, a lot of my time is E2.
I keep seeing a lot of Sandbox adverts on Facebook and stuff now as well. But I first saw it when the Ball Combo used to do his weekly breakdowns of the metaverse. It does look decent, but the land price is just crazy high. There's no way I could end up into that at the current rates.
It's like Minecraft, but I don't know. It looks kind of cooler.
It does,
because you can build stuff and sell it. So I guess that's a win.
Yeah, you can do your own kind of NFT characters and cars and all sorts of stuff, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So this is probably a big one. I'm not sure if I should be asking. I noticed you recently left Dorkslayer. Can you tell us what happened there, or is that something you'd rather avoid?
Look, long story short, it was more, I had a way that I wanted to do things. They had a way they wanted to do things. It was kind of amicable at the start. There was some disagreements. That's basically all I'll put it down to. And you'll find that with any organization. Like if you go to a job, for example, and you go, you know what, this isn't for me, you quit and then you go find another job. It's kind of like that, I suppose.
Yeah,
Except I wasn't getting paid as such, but
No, I get that. That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Right. So next up, we've got questions from the community. I posted on Twitter asking if they wanted to ask anything. The first one is from Hippo48, and he is asking, how are you planning to reach all of the Malta landowners for the community Knights of Malta?
When inboxing, that's all I'll say. When inboxing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm definitely, as soon as that goes live, I'll be sending messages out, for sure.
Do you have any idea of how many landholders there is?
Well, last I checked, there was about 380,000 tiles. I would be looking to target a couple hundred at least that have got significant plots in the area that I've built around.
Yeah, go for the biggest guys first. That makes sense.
Yeah, I have got quite a few of them already. Just from stalking. I know that sounds super creepy, but I've got to build somehow. So
you do start to recognize the names from tiles and stuff. You see them from Discord and Twitter and stuff. It makes sense. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, that's right.
The next one is from Trav, and he is asking, what is your favorite Aussie beer?
Yeah, not Foster, Trav. I'm a New South Wales bloke, so Tooheys is my favorite draft. So there you go.
I've never heard of Tooheys. I'm guessing that must just be an exclusively Aussie
all
thing.
Australian. Yeah.
Right. Next one, to Ferris. What do you think the current role of guilds is, and what do you imagine it will be in the future with a full-fledged ecosystem?
I think at the moment it's all about building with the tools we have. So just building land, building a system of, you're going to build something here, like a resource district, shopping, whatever the case may be. And then tying that in with resources, and it all sort of comes together, right? The PvP side of things, we're not seeing any of that, and as soon as we get it, we'll start to see different guilds pop up, and the existing ones will obviously build on that as well. And obviously trades and all the different features that we'll see with E2, there will obviously be guilds for that. I think there's like a hollow building guild or something. I don't know. I don't get into it.
I can't say I came across them. Oh, is that a hollow building guild? I wasn't aware. I've saw EVG.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into it, to be honest, but
once we get more game mechanics, I'm sure they'll all pop up and we'll learn everything we need to about them all.
Yeah, especially with drone too. A lot of those guys are pretty keen to get into it.
Yeah, come and destroy us all.
Yeah.
Right. So the next one is from Peck Holdens, and he is asking, what is the story behind your smoking hot profile picture that you used for a while?
Yeah. So the story is that I did a project with painting models, and that one in particular was one of my favorites. So what I've actually done with those images, because they're obviously, it's a project I started, right? So they all know that I've got the images. It's all kosher, like, they're pretty cool chicks. And I've actually tied that in with the Knights of Malta project, where the guys that have built the most, I've given them an NFT with those images because they're originals, right? I did them myself with obviously the models and whatnot. So it's the body painting graffiti on them. I've done a fair bit of graffiti in the past and done different projects and things like that. And what I'm doing with those NFTs is I've given them to the guys who have helped me build Malta and the megacity we're doing. And basically I've said to them, hey, you guys are doing a good job. Here's the NFT. It's got your wallet address tied to it. And then when we get some sort of essence rewards and things like that, I'll divvy them out to everyone, just to say, thanks for helping us out, that sort of thing. So it's not just, a hot chick as a profile picture. There was kind of a story behind it, and everyone kind of thought I was a girl for a long time. I'm like, oh no, I've got a penis. Like, so
as they say, nothing sells like sex. So I'm guessing that's going to be good advertising for you as well. It'll pull people in. Being curious about the project.
Yeah, that's it. And that's one of the things that I've kind of like, because nothing's really happened for a long time. It's all been little bits and pieces. So you got to keep it interesting. You can't just be like, oh, nothing on E2 again. Oh, okay, just log off. You know what I mean? Like you got to really engage it. And that was one of the things that I did at the start to try and engage people in conversation and build relationships.
No, that makes sense. It is definitely the community keeping it going at the minute.
Yeah, I'm not just a pervert.
Next one from Moby. Do you think E2 is ready for a major ad campaign? What would you like to see implemented before that occurs?
Look, I think the community that is strong at the moment probably needs a little bit of a head start before they start just slamming us with ads and things like that. I mean, I still see the ads on Facebook all the time. I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah, the
Instagram
ones.
Yep. All the vlogs, all of that sort of stuff. So they are doing it, but it's to people that have already bought into the game, right? Yeah, just that little bit of time where they bring out an update, a huge update like Essence listing or something like that. You know, give the community a little bit of time to sort of digest it and do what they got to do and then go nuts. Like, you know, I think that's probably the best course of action than just a free for all. You know, that's my opinion.
I would agree. I think they've kind of got all of the people like us that they're going to get already from it going viral. And I think the kind of next people they need to aim at for advertising, as you see, is the crypto nuts with the launch of Essence or the gamers with the launch of gameplay. I think that's when the next big wave will come and when we could do another big campaign.
It'll come from big names or conventions or something to that effect with a big update, I imagine.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Right. So the next one is from Yenya. Or Yena. I said it right in my last video and I'm getting it wrong now. According to Vlog 7, community cooperation, such as essence staking and resources for construction, seems to be important in phase 2.5. How do you plan to cooperate with the diverse and large number of citizens? I'm guessing this is aimed at the megacity project.
Sure. Well, look, I'm banking on the social media part coming through before they do the ecosim because I feel like that's been a long time coming. Especially just being able to send a message to a user on the platform. That's like a huge game changer for me. So I'm hoping that comes first. But look, if it doesn't, then I'm sure a lot of people in the megacity sort of space are going to be a bit like, oh, how do I reach out to this person that bought tiles here like a year ago? You know, to try and get it all sort of happening. Does that make sense?
It does.
You know, it's going to be a hard one if they don't bring that out first, but I'm assuming that's what the partnership is with RGA.
Yeah. With that partnership in mind, like, I'm not sure if that was just kind of them starting to look into it. To be in my head, the social media platform was coming after the ecosim. But you're right in that it is going to make things a lot harder. But in my kind of mental timeline, the social media app's quite far away. I could definitely be wrong on that, but
well, look, I think if they just adapt it from Shane's XYZ, it's going to be a piece of cake. If they have to build it from scratch, then we might be waiting a while.
Yeah, you could definitely use the tech behind that, but the kind of the infrastructure of it wasn't the most user friendly, unless it's just because there was kind of lack of users on it.
Yeah, but that survey they brought out, it basically had listed everything that was in that app anyway. So that's my assumption that they're just going to go, oh yeah, we'll just tweak that and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, you might have a point because Shane was saying that was his main focus and Earth 2 was a little side project as well. So they could have, for all we know, that could have been almost ready for a big campaign.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Laro Tayo, is there anything... Is there an interesting story behind your in-game name, Resin?
Yeah, sort of. It actually came from my graffiti tag. And I originally started as Arson, and then everyone kept calling me Resin. And I'm like, okay, I'll roll with that. So it's not like I'm not some like, you know, guy who cooks up resin on a frying pan and uses it in his bong. Like that's not my story. It's just it's just a tag basically. Nothing.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Next on to Claximus. Which of your Earth 2 tiles have you visited in Earth 1?
I'll be honest, I haven't visited any of them. No. I did own a property on the Gold Coast and I used to live there. But I sold that because I wanted more Malta. So, you know, I haven't really visited any of them. But I do plan on going on a Europe trip when the kids are a bit older. So
Not
I
traveling all
look
around
forward
them.
to that.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's right.
When
Yeah.
T2 came out, I bought a lot around my local town because I suspect when we do get the kind of the ER features, there might be some kind of prizes we wouldn't pick up from being on land. And if we own
Oh
that
yeah.
land, if we own that land as well, maybe we wouldn't kind of collect from our own. Like even if it's just like there's resources laying on it or there's a bit of ether there or something, I can see it
Yeah,
kind of
that'd be
getting
cool.
gamified like that. And I just thought there might be an advantage to owning the land that I'm playing on.
Whereabouts do you live?
Sunderland, northeast of England.
Oh yeah. So that would have people buying tiles there, right? Surely.
No, my city is dead.
Yeah.
There's a few in the city centre and the football
Mm.
stadium is bought, but other
Yeah.
than that, it's dead. Like even my coastline, the busiest beach here, I'm the only person that owns tiles on it, and we literally get thousands and thousands and thousands of visitors every single year because we do air shows, festivals, and all sorts, and nobody's touched it. I think
Yeah,
everybody
right.
just automatically went to like London and Manchester and stuff like the biggest cities in the UK.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've got
Hmm.
it all to myself.
Lucky
Right.
boy.
Next, we're on to gizmos. Where do you expect Essence value 1 month after launch?
Oh, I hate this question because you just don't know. Like the draft white paper has said that they've got systems in place that's basically going to manipulate the price so then it doesn't either crash or go to some ridiculous value that just doesn't make sense, right?
Keeping supply and demand in air level. Yeah.
That's right. So obviously with the play to earn mechanics, which is, collecting your essence every day, which, Shane has said it's going to get harder. Yeah, they're probably just going to restrict that if people are selling, if people are just putting it out of circulation, they're probably going to pump more out and it's probably going to hold like a value of, anywhere between $1 to $5, I imagine.
Yeah.
That's just as a guess, I guess.
I certainly wouldn't complain if it was anywhere
No.
between $1 and $5. I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of people in that boat, Pacey.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right. Next one on to Earth 2 Viking. What gets you super duper excited the most in Earth 2?
Oh,
His words, not
super
mine.
duper. Yeah, super duper. I don't know. Everything about it kind of does. I wasn't really too big on the resources because I joined later and it wasn't really a big deal back then. And we waited so long for it. It's kind of like, oh yeah, cool. I want to see things happening on my land, and I'm sure a lot of people do. Whether it be the ecosim where there's activity, there's ads, there's all this stuff that they're showing us, or obviously moving into phase 3, obviously that's going to be a big deal as well. That's what I'm excited for, is that we actually have this utility for our land and we're actually able to play on it, or whatever the case may be, walk in it, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense because we are just holding land for now. It would be nice to start using it for some things.
Yeah,
I get that. Right. E2 analyst wanted to know which Earth 2 feature you would change.
I would change. I honestly have no idea. I mean, there's not really anything I can disagree with how they're doing. They can just add more features to it, I suppose. I don't like the changes that they've done with the UI around how they've got the property card page to then the grid. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure I do, to be honest. No.
You know the one where it has the property URL on it? It's got all the stats and coordinations and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
And then you go from that to then viewing it on the grid. But then on that same page, it's got the same information from the previous page as well. I think that just doesn't make sense.
And then you've got like the property history on different tabs and stuff as well.
Yeah. I don't think that's very user friendly, but maybe there's a long-term play on that where they're going to take away the property card. It's all going to be on one. I think that would make more sense.
They've spoke about a complete UI overhaul in the past as well, but we haven't really seen that. We've saw minor tweaks and stuff. So maybe these have just been temporary fixes until they do a massive one, or maybe we're just seeing tiny parts of that overall one a bit at a time.
Yeah, or the UI guy has nothing better to do, maybe.
Quite possibly, just trying to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, that's right.
So the last question here is from Earth 2 Islands, and he wants to know how many jewels you have slotted.
I I'm pretty sure all of my properties are slotted except for anything tier 2 under 50 tiles.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a massive portfolio like some of these other guys, so that might sound more impressive than what it actually is. But yeah, definitely slot anything that is, at least 50 tiles are up, because that's going to bring in you more essence, more resources, all of that stuff. Anything less than that, I don't think it's worth it, to be honest.
To be fair, I'm going to slot all of mine, even down to me single T2 tiles.
Really?
I've made sure that I've got mixed color T3 jewels on all of my flexes, and then I've
Yes.
individually slotted T1s on all of them for the additional essence bonus. But to be honest, I think it's more of a thing that it would annoy us knowing that some of my properties weren't slotted than the benefit that I'm going to get from them. Like, it would just bother me knowing. So I'm going to make sure they're all slotted, and then I'll gradually go through and change tier 3 colors on me larger ones as well.
Yeah, you really got to balance it out and go, do I want to slot these jewels, or do I want to sell them and buy more tiles? Like Nizza, he will just sell all of them and just buy tiles and won't even bother slotting. And he's got 40,000 tiles now.
It does make sense for him doing that, because he's built a big portfolio from it. Like, we'll generate these things from land, so if we hold more land, we're going to generate more as well anyway. So his tactic does work, but I get too attached to my tiles. I just can't let them go. Not just my tiles, but all my things, my jewels and everything. I just want them, and I want them slotted, and I want to keep my things and try accumulate.
Yeah, he's going to get to one point and he'll go, oh crap, I need to slot some jewels, and he'll have no jewels and all these tiles.
Do you know if he's been doing hollow buildings as well? Has he neglected that, or has he been putting them on?
No, I think he's up there with the hollow buildings. Him and a couple of the other guys are competing quite frequently for that leaderboard. So he's probably got like 1 cent hollow buildings or something. I don't know.
That's what I've done a lot of mine as well, to be fair. Like, though, anything under kind of 20, 30 tiles, I've been getting like 1 cent hollows.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right, so that's it for the questions. Is there anything you would like to add or discuss before we call it a day?
No, I think that was a pretty good run. Thanks for having me. Hey, Mum and Dad, Drew and Kissy, what up?
Thank you very much for coming on. It was nice to have you, especially as the first guest,
man.
somebody I kind of know from the community. Made us feel a bit at ease.
Yeah, you should do more of it, man. It's really good.
I certainly will, yeah. Find some people that are willing, that have got interesting projects going on, and we'll get them. Yep. Right, so as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have an amazing day. Thank you, Resin.
Thanks,
Peace out.
Mate. See ya.